on the one side of the car, and I came out and I said, may I help you? And he said, oh, sorry, I've got the wrong address.
Oh, yeah.
So it can happen anywhere at any time, even if the person is outside.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I don't care a little story to share because, like I said, we've been seeing several of these a month for about 3 months now, which we didn't see last year, so it's something that's coming up again.
If I may add, and that's, James, you shared a really important story, in as much that, again, the reason we meet every second Thursday of the month is so you can take that information, the story that James shared, as well as what Adam relayed to you, and let your neighbors know. You see your neighbor letting his car idle, say, hey, you know what, 43 Division has had an issue with cars that are being warmed up in the winter being stolen. You might not want to do that. So by you sharing that with your neighbor, hopefully they do the same thing, and the message gets out there helping us prevent that kind of crime.
Just moving along here, this is our major crime indicators. For you, those of you that are typing about these are indicators set up by Stats Canada. They feel if you monitor these indicators, they give the best reflection of what's going on in the community. Right now in February, I would deter from looking at the percentages. If you know mathematics, when numbers are small, they'll think the number of that percentage to make it look quite a bit larger. So if you look at difference in numbers, or even just the chart, and we are doing quite well in this division for the year so far. Knock on wood, that continues. Our results are down for the second year straight, down quite a bit, which is really good. That impacts the major crime indicators the most. As you can see, it's quite large compared to everything. Our break-in enters are down on the year, which is good. Our robberies are down again. Really, the only place we're up right now is theft of autos, and they're up by 3. And in total, we're down by 54 occurrences to 15%. Like I said, that'll get smaller as these numbers get larger.
I don't want to speak, I mean, they're sitting right here, but I will speak on behalf of the superintendent and the inspector, if I may. It's one thing, it sounds like bragging in the way it is, I guess, but we take considerable pride in the fact that I believe it's 5 years consecutive. 2017, we kind of plateaued for a little bit, but for 5 years consecutive, 43 Division has driven down these 7 major crime indicators. I think it speaks volumes to the caliber of officers here.
And then one last slide, a little tip here. I just put this in here, kind of going along with the theft of cars. Paul and Julia kind of talked about this. With technology, we come up with all these kind of things like push button cars to try and stop the thieves. And of course, eventually the thieves come up with technology to defeat that. So with all your wireless communication, you got your credit cards and chips in them now. The thieves are inventing what they call relay devices, where they can relay signals off your keys and start your cars. So a quick little search of Amazon, this shows you here, and there's tons of things you can buy now that make little key pouches to keep your keys in the house so that they block the signals that it communicates. You can buy them on there for as cheap as $5, and the sky's the limit on how fancy you want to get. You can see over here, this is one here that you can just keep your credit cards in there, because even in the mall, now there'll be guys going around with scanners and they can pick up the signals off your chip and then put them into dummy cards and stuff like that. So if people are interested in stuff like that, it's easily accessible to purchase now. Unless there's questions, that's it.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate that. At this point, we turn it over to Paul. I believe we have a guest speaker. I'll let Paul introduce him.
Welcome, everyone. I think I know most here, but Paul Rowe, of course, Division. Very excited to, I'm easily excited to be here. I'm very excited to have a guest speaker today. Julie Campbell and Murder must be away. We, on a daily basis, I would say, more than regularly deal with issues relating to wills and more specifically power of attorney. And unfortunately, there's ones that we deal with, either chosen poorly with the power of attorney or they have none at all. And legal counsel John McCauley has graciously donated his time today. And he's going to come here and give everyone a good scare and get a will of power of attorney. So, thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Matt, may I deal with this? Could be put there or something? Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much. Mike. First of all, I want to thank everybody for this department for giving me the opportunity to come and speak to you today on what I consider to be an important topic, and hopefully you will as well. wills and powers of attorney are a burning issue in our society as we get older. When we're young, we don't think about those things. They just, life goes on forever, doesn't it? But we all know it doesn't. We all experience death one way or another, and sometimes we've experienced the inconveniences, I can put it that way, of not having a will or powers of attorney. So when Paul and Julie came to see me at my office the other day, they asked me to talk on wills and powers of attorney, and I didn't review my notes. I was going to talk about elder law and incapacity and things of that nature, but I think fraud and elder abuse, and that's a whole separate topic in itself, and deserves much more time than I can give you here today. But the fact of not having a will and power of attorney, a lot of people don't think about it. And well, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. You know, I'm thinking, okay, I'll do it now. But what people don't realize is that we all have surprises in life, and sometimes those surprises can be, I won't say fatal, but they can be very serious. Where one has no will, one does not have what's called an estate trustee. Back in the old days, they were called executives. They're now called estate trustees, but as my mother would say, that's a distinction with other differences. They still administer your estate and look after your affairs. By the way, I want you guys to know when I came in here today, I stood at the front desk and said I was prepared to plead guilty of robbery with intent. I used to do a lot of criminal law, and that was a common phrase back then. Robbery with intent, mostly at the 41 division, the old 63 and 61, 63 court, 62 court, I think it was. I'm showing my age, I know, but it's a whole separate issue. So, and I am also guilty of having appropriated or liberated some memoranda from the police department. I gave another talk at another location with Gary Holmes and Fork, I think. Anyway, they gave me this material. I'm talking with you today, so I am guilty of that as well. Anyway, no, when you don't have a will, many things happen. When you pass, you haven't decided who's going to administer your estate. You don't necessarily know who's your beneficiaries, because it may be that you want X to be, you want your 3 children and you want one of them to be your beneficiary, not the others. Well, if you've got a will, your children your blood children will be your beneficiaries, and if you've got a spouse, separated from that spouse for any number of years, it doesn't matter, she will share as well. So if you were, let's say you're living in common law and you've been living with this person for 30 years and you love each other, and I don't need, she's going to get everything, he's going to get everything. No, if you are married and not divorced, your spouse will get the first $200,000, and then she, and then your children will share the rest. So it's, a lot of people don't go that, but it's kind of scary when you think that you're going to leave something to somebody when in fact you're not. So you don't know, with the will, you don't know who your beneficiaries is going to be. Another little tidbit I could say is I'm acting right now in an estate where the person died was a lawyer. And guess what? No will. We're going to be found. So, kind of frightening. But here's the complication. In this case, in terms of who's going to get it, there is no complication. One son, no problem. But when you have no will, the court says, rightly so, the court says, we have to impose the bond, performance bond. And that can be a very complicated and expensive and time-consuming procedure to have to post a performance bond. Why? Let's say there are 3 children underage, and you've got no will, and you're the last to die. Well, who's going to look after those children? Who's going to manage their affairs? Well, the court says, I want you to post a bond because I don't know if you were appointed to the estate. How do we know we can trust you? So you got to go with a bond to make sure that the children will get their money. They're involved with the public guardian trustee and all sorts of complications. So no bond, no will, bond. As I mentioned, alluded to, there's a possibility of an unintended beneficiary or unintended beneficiaries. So when you have a will, you can name who you want to get your estate, and things should flow reasonably smoothly. I'll give you another example. Where someone has a beneficiary, an intended beneficiary, who is not capable of receiving ODSP benefits, Ontario Disability Support benefits. That's also a complication because if a beneficiary who is receiving those benefits receives an interest in your estate or the estate, they can be cut off the benefits. Government says, again, so look, you've got money in the estate. Why are we paying you? Because you've got an estate to look to. Where you have that kind of situation at Henson Trust, most people are reasonably familiar with that now. Henson Trust says, I'm creating an absolute discretionary request in my will so that the estate trustee is the one who decides who gets it, not who. When that person gets it, how much they get, it can be sporadic, it can be nothing. So there's another example of where no will and the beneficiaries could be at sea because they've lost their benefits. The succession order format is the one, as I said, which determines who gets what in the estate. So I had a situation some years ago where I did wills with the parents, and one died, then the other, and the son came in to see me, and so I was fine will probate the estate, and that was a Friday, warm Friday, I remember that. He was kind of sniffling and left. He died on Saturday. And his aunt got the money. No, there's an example of an unintended beneficiary. His aunt got the money. Now, it's a complicated procedure to get there, but that's who is ultimately the beneficiary, because there is what's called a table of consanguinity, which determines who gets what. And while I'm telling tales in school, I wanted to tell you about another one. A lady who died not so long ago up Kingston Road. She was 83, something like that, died. Bit of a pack rat, as I'm sure you guys who win homes could test. Lots of that. Kind of scary. Her will was done in 1973 or some such date. And it left a beneficiary who lived in Italy. Nothing wrong with that, but you can't doubt that beneficiary was probably themselves dead. Now we have an intestacy. The lady was Japanese, and if you have an intestacy, it goes to brothers and sisters. Well, who are the brothers and sisters? They all live in Japan. Good God, to administer this thing would have been just on wheels. So anyway, that's another reason why an updated will is a good thing. I do talks at the community center at Kingston Road and Market Road, and one of the things I talk about is not updating necessarily. Get your will out, read it, and make sure you understand it, first of all, and make sure that it says what you want it to say. If there are any changes in your life, birth, death, marriage, whatever, that should be at least reviewed. You should also look to see if there is what's called an affidavit of execution. I can't stress this strongly enough. An affidavit of execution is an affidavit which is signed by one of the witnesses to say that I and John McCauley witnessed the will of Madam X. And that's attached to the will. There's an exhibit stamp with a signing at the back of the signing page. Now you're good to go. It can be probate, that is applied to the estate for probate. With no affidavit of execution, where do we, and the lawyer has died, witness has gone to Vancouver, now what are we going to do? You have to have that will, the court needs that will authenticated, so to speak, to do execution. So, when you do a will, or when you get to look at your will, take it out, make sure that there's an affidavit of execution. If there is not, and you may have a copy, I have it as to draw a will, I scan it in my computer system, I give you a copy, I scan most of you by email, most people with email, and we're good to go. But back in the old days, in order to do that, and I'm not saying I did either, because scanning wasn't as prevalent as it is now. If you dig out your will, make sure is it the original? If it isn't the original, go to see the lawyer who drew the original, if they're still alive, and you can find them, and either get the original in your hands with an affidavit of execution, or at least make sure they have it in their vault, and that it is properly executed, affidavit of execution, etc. So that's just a little tidbit, a takeaway, if you will, and it's a scary thing because the older I get, the more wills I see for probate purposes, the more I see these procedural inadequacies, for lack of a better term. It's not negligence that the lawyer didn't do an affidavit of execution, but they sure as hell should have, just to make sure that it can proceed. Powers of attorney, another issue. The Substitute Decisions Act came into force in 1995, and very valuable tool that brings us into the modern age. But and the Ontario government made a form, power of attorney for property, power of attorney for personal care, that you can download off the web, and it's free. So no problem there, you can do it. I was giving a talk at Bemidji up here at Kingston, and I was stressing that you should have power of attorney, and I kind of poo-pooed the Ontario government form. I still do, but the caseworker there was handing them out to people so that they could do them. And I understand why. If you don't have one, at least do that. It's free. Do that, and you've got something to work with. But the powers of attorney have advanced since 1995. There are all sorts of things in them now about if I become incapable, my spouse can sell our home. Power of attorney for personal care. I want to. There's what's called what civilians would call a living will, and that says if I'm incapable. Power of attorney for personal care means it's not enforceable. It's not to be acted upon unless and until you become incapable. Only then, power of attorney for property is a loaded gun with a bullet in the chamber. It's ready to go now. Personal care, must be capable. So you're in hospital. You've got stage 4 cancer. You're incapable of responding, or you've had a coma, whatever it might be. Incapacity is the issue there, and at least you know that the person you've appointed has some instruction as to what you want to be done in the case of extremis, so to speak. So that you're not left lying on the bed without being treated medically, painkillers, etc., and the instructions to withhold, if those are the instructions, to withhold medical treatment, pull the plug, I'll say pull the plug, and there's another hidden benefit, I think. It is when A appoints his son, daughter, both to be his attorney for personal care, and A is in hospital, A is dying and in pain, but I just can't do it. I can't pull that plug. Well, we wouldn't treat animals that way. And if you have the option as a child to make a decision for your parent, which is what they wanted, it relieves some anxiety and some guilt. That's so important, in my opinion. But you don't go through the rest of your life saying, I killed Dad, I killed Mom. No one should be put in that position. So when it's in the power of attorney for personal care, you know that at least it can be acted upon. There's a little problem, however, where it's not what you say in the power of attorney for personal care, it's your last wishes. So as you're going into hospital, you say, don't pull the plug. even though you've got your power of attorney, it's those last wishes that count. I heard Dad say he didn't want that pipe pulled. Well, now you have all sorts of issues as to what are we going to do. But most people don't cover it themselves. So anyway, you can be creative in your power of attorney for property. As I said, the power itself is not going to home. I'm looking at my notes here because my writing is not that great. By the way, I don't know how long somebody got a book here that tells me to stop.
About 10-2, so about 7 or 8 more minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Put your service revolver on the desk and all I got to stop.
We're gonna range it.
I was at a seminar on medically assisted death at a church up in Kingston Road. Bill Blair was there. You'll remember Bill Blair, and he was heading the committee. The Liberals had put together a committee to decide what they're going to do with the legislation as a result of the Supreme Court of Canada decision talking about assisted death. And I must say that although the government tried hard, I think, to reflect the intent of the Supreme Court of Canada, I don't think they went far enough. And here's the issue. Today, you say, I want to know that if I become an Edmonton state and I'm not going to live, I want to be able to die. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. You must be diagnosed as having an incurable illness and dying. Now, what happens if you get to the point where you would have wanted to exercise that right, but you can't because you're not capable? You'll have to limbo, and nothing you can do about it. So that's the conundrum in the legislation. Someday, I think it will be remedied. I understand, hearing the new Minister of Justice, whose name I've forgotten, he just replaced Judy Rainbow Wilson. That's a whole separate issue. And he mentioned that he was thinking about addressing this issue, this problem that we have about not being able to describe how and when, under what circumstances we want medically assisted death. And I'm optimistic that it'll be reviewed because today it doesn't matter to us, but someday it might. And you really want to be in a position where you know that your wishes can be adhered to. The power of attorney for property, I mentioned the Ontario Government Form, which is skeleton, if you will. Took many pieces of, not legislation, many creative lawyers added clauses such as CRA. In other words, if your attorney wants to deal with CRA may, and I've heard stories that they do, say, sorry, you may be the attorney, but it doesn't say that we can speak with you, so we can't talk to you. So, too bad. The property ground power of attorney for personal care, for instance, for property rights, I think would have a clause in there permitting CRA to deal with your attorney and your attorney to deal with CRA. There's just an example of how things have changed. I had a couple in today. They brought me their powers of attorney, which were in the 1995 form, but were signed in 2001, drawn by a lawyer. But they were really the skeleton that the government produces. And frankly, that's just not adequate anymore. It's tough to say, tough to tell people your power of attorney is it's okay, but it doesn't have modern forms, and you should think about this because it sounds like I'm selling updated forms. Frankly, they should think about it. And if it's not me, it should be somebody else to get their documents in order and update. There are lots of, by the way, you can revoke power of attorney on sign. So if you're not happy with the person you've appointed, you can revoke it, so long as you're capable. I can regale you with cardroom stories about all sorts of problems that people have had through the years of getting robbed, if you will, legally. And by legally, I mean using power of attorney. And my heart goes out to the police department because they can only do so much when they're called. And I have this attorney who's taking my money, etc. Oh, well, it was a gift. Don't you know? It was a gift. They gave it to me. Now we're into a he said, she said, or whatever. Where are you in that ballpark? You really have to say, well, as I've heard many times, it's a civil matter. You got to sort this out. But we just can't go and arrest people because you say so, and that's also a problem. So bottom line is this: if you don't have a will or a power of attorney, give it some serious thought. If you do, review them, take a look at it, go back to see the lawyer who drew them, and have another talk. Lawyers should be well open and talking to people about what their documents are, what they mean, and making any changes. So there's so much more to say, but so much to say is so little time.
John, I know you had a question over here, John.
Yeah. Question.
So
We've been in 43 division for 41 years. Our wills are in Grimsby. What's the process of getting that for convenience sake to get that will over here?
that's not a problem. If you talk with the lawyer who drew it, they should send it to you, or by courier or otherwise, or you take a little drive to Grimsby and pick them up. And while you're there, take a look at that will and make sure that there's an affidavit of execution on it, apropos what I just said earlier. Okay, but it's very important. I feel nervous when the client has the will in their hands. The reason I do, just a quick story. Draw a will for husband and wife years ago. Husband dies, no problem. Son comes in 5 years or so, maybe more. Says, Mom just died. No problem. I'll dig up the will and here we go. I went to my will drawer. It's not there. What the hell? I'm off the side. My God, I'm in deep doo-doo here. However, I had the unusual foresight to have this lady sign for having received her will 3 days after she drew it. I want my will. So, okay, it's your property, please. But I had her sign saying acknowledged receipt. What really happened, however, was the son. Dad had died. The son ripped up Mom's will, thinking it was Dad's will. And now all I've got, back in those days, there was no scanning, nothing like that. I've just got a ribbon copy, so to speak, of the will. And I'm proud to tell you, I got that will probated. So I mean, that was something, but it took a lot of work. But I did it, and so that's why I don't like clients having their wills, because they'll write all over them, they'll lose them. If you have your will in your possession and it can't be found at your death, there's what's called a presumption of destruction. So, but it's not so bad if I've scanned the will to you by email. At least you've got a copy on your computer system. If you have to reproduce that, you can reproduce it. And chances are, with an affidavit or two, it'll be probated, no problem. So, third.
Generally, if we go to a lawyer, how much would a power of attorney and then a will cost to get?
What I like to do, I'm going to answer your question. What I like to do is have the client come in, sit down, and talk to them, and find out where are we going and what are we doing. If you said if I were the doctor and you called me as the doctor and said, Doc, I've got a headache. Prescribe some pills for me. The doc shouldn't do that, as we know. A lawyer shouldn't say, well, it's going to cost you $50, or it's going to cost you $10,000. Just an example: husband and wife come in. I've drawn their wills before, but there are some bolus changes. It took me maybe 10 hours, maybe more, to draw that will, and that wasn't the standard fee because I'm dedicating time. Now, if I'm doing a one-person will, I budget 3 hours. An hour interview, an hour preparation, another hour when you come back and we go through it and sign it. Because I've got to go through this document with you, read through it like a power of attorney. They're even more complicated than wills, ironically, in a sense. So I've got to make sure you understand this. And if you understand it, we're good to go. So I bill 3 hours, $1,200. Now, there are lawyers downtown who charge $7.50 an hour, etc. I do that. I'm not downtown, but that's what I would charge. And that's reasonable.
Happy wants to know if there's a police discount.
I've acted for lots of police officers. I did criminal law. I read the police officers all the time and acted for them and their mothers and whatever. So,
Well, as a lawyer, you're circumventing your questions.
I'll answer that indirectly. I got an email from a client of mine today, asking me how much it would cost for Will for she and her husband, and do I do a family discount? And I got back to her and said, sorry, there's no family discount because each situation, it's not a cookie cutter, each is a one-off. And I've got to understand your circumstances, your circumstances don't fit your sons or your daughters, just don't. So, but it's time, that's really what you're doing, you're spending time, and you want to know that the lawyer is taking the time as well to understand your family dynamic. If you loan money to your son and he hasn't paid it back, is that the right person to understand trustee? For instance.
It's still less than Pappy makes though.
How do you feel, I know how you're gonna answer this, but how do you feel about online wills?
You can pull your own teeth too. The Canadian legal will kit. You know the commercial, the Canadian legal will kit? The guy comes in, he says, I just did my will.
Yeah.
The wife's sitting there with a baby and a dog and a piano. Well, what about her? And it's,
I'm not surprised.
wills are an important document and they shouldn't be treated like that. Unfortunately, the public treats them as, well, just a simple will. And they're not lawyers, they don't know what simple will is, and some lawyers don't know themselves. So lawyers used to, I think, crank them out of dime a dozen. Don't worry about it, fine, goodbye. Thank you very much. Next, they treat them as a loss leader. But as time goes on and our society is aging, we're getting what's the word? We're maturing in our thoughts about wills. And it's important to draw them correctly because there's no end of problems. The best advice I can give you is stay away from lawyers. How do you do that? You see the lawyer once, the lawyer who knows what they're doing and does it properly. Okay? So that's the best advice I can give you. So that you don't have to have comebacks and all sorts of problems. When you do your own will, the terminology. Again, I got a letter from the client the other day. I don't think he's quite all there, but he sent me his will. It's in his cheeky handwriting, and he wants Bill Smith. He wants to go to Bill Smith, or something like that. I wrote him back and said, look, I already wrote you saying I'm not your lawyer, but I just want to tell you, I don't think that's going to be a will. So you should think about it.
And if I may, speaking to the question you raised, having just prepared mine recently as well as having worked through a couple for unfortunate circumstances, what I would say in support of what John said is the online ones, you fill in the blank, whereas a trained licensed lawyer is going to maybe suggest eventualities or potential things that would happen you might not even think of, if I could put it to you that way, where you're like, I never thought of that, which is, it's nice to have that.
I feel the same way. Mine's stuff every once in a while somebody says, no, well, they got them online now. They're very easy to fill out.
You can do what's called a holograph will, which means all in your handwriting, dated, and signed. You don't need two witnesses. I received a will from a lawyer. I was acting on the estate, so we got the will from the lawyer. And I looked at it, and the lawyer hadn't signed the will. It's a void will. It's void. Need two witnesses. The BC may be different, but in Ontario, they're very strict on due process and due execution. Need two witnesses. So, anyway, it's very important because I know myself asking clients about parents go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, you're right. And another interesting thing is the I'm doing a power of attorney, and well, John, why are you involved in this? I'm not. Attorney is a representative, not lawyer, as they are in the States. So anyway, I see the hook is coming.
Mike, one last question.
John, I have a good question. This is what I'm asking. Yeah?
Yeah, I said one last one.
Many years ago, there used to be what was called the Family Law Act.
Yeah.
That's no longer. It's been renamed.
The old family law act is still enforced. It used to be the family law reform act.
That's what it is now.
It's family law act now.
And I used to have a copy of it when it became done. I just dropped it. Is it still available?
Family law act?
I get a copy of it.
Oh, yeah, just download it off the web. Oh, yeah. Just one quick point. Although it may not be apparent, I do lots of public speaking and I don't charge. So if there are organizations that you belong to, I'm happy to come and talk about wills and powers of attorney and things of that nature. It's a pleasure to do so. And so, because I did criminal law, I was in court every day. There is an ego thing there. Let's be honest. So I'm getting my ego fixed here. I enjoy public speaking, and I enjoy hopefully disseminating some information that you take back to your lawyer and get some information from them and update your stuff. So there we are. If I don't get out of here, I'm gonna be going again.
So I have one quick question, and that was, John, if someone had some more questions or wanted to come and see you, where are you located?
Kingston Road and Martin Road. I don't hand out material because I think that's a little presumptuous. I've got business cards. If you want a business card, I'm happy to give it to you, but I don't come here. That's just not the way it works. So thank you for asking, and that's the story.
Perfect.
All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Angela Brackett just would like to say something very quickly. She has to leave.
We're happy for this event that we're planning, and I'll talk about it next meeting because I'm not able to do it right now. Just a call, my volunteers can take it, so I got ahead of the Sorry.
Thanks, Angela.
And I really don't have much to have Rosita come up and say something. Rosita's been part of CPC for a long time now. She attends our annual picnics as a booth. She's with Alzheimer's Society as well.
Is this on? Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. So my name's Romina, and I'm the Community Partnerships Manager at the Alzheimer's Society of Toronto. I've been here a few times, so it's nice to see everyone again. I just wanted to let you know that we're very excited that the Walk for Alzheimer's is coming back to Scarborough in the spring. It will be held again at Thompson Park on Saturday, May 25th. Last year, we raised over $30,000, and we had over 300 people come out, family, friends, community members, all in support of the services that we provide at the Alzheimer's Society of Toronto. Just FYI, everything that we do for clients and caregivers and people living with dementia is completely free. So counseling, education, as well as recreational programs. So the walk is happening again in May. We are in the planning stages, so I'll have more information as that comes up. We are looking for volunteers and community members as well to join the planning committee. So if you are interested, please let me know. Come and find me after the meeting and we can have a quick chat. And also, we're very excited, as most of you know, Randy has supported the Alzheimer's Society for the past few years, and we're very excited that he's agreed to come on as co-chair of the walks. So he'll be spearheading the social media as well as the outreach initiatives. So again, we hope to see you there. I'll have more information as the date comes near. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rowena. All right, this is the portion of the meeting where we open it up to the community for any concerns or comments, issues that you want to bring to our attention. I don't have anything to follow up on from the last meeting. There wasn't anything that wasn't answered at that meeting. So I don't know if, Paul, you want to provide another mic, but is there any comments or concerns, questions you want to bring to our attention? Now would be the time.
You guys did a great job.
Get that man a mic.
That is so important.
Randy, did you get that, post that?
The police officer.
That's why you gave it to me.
Exactly. Test.
Oh, it's gotta be like that.
That's okay.
Sure.
I just wanted to say how appreciative we are for this division, and we think you guys will do an excellent job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We always put all the positives on. James?
Yeah.
You protect, and
I can
protect very well.
Okay, I don't think I need this, but anyway, in the area of McCowan and Ellesmere, the Vendale Park in that area, I've had some concerns brought forward to me from people in that area of, quote unquote, hoodlums that are in the park overnight. Alcohol consumption, nasty business. I won't expand upon that. It's a bit cold, but it's happening. And people walking their animals there in the morning have noticed this and they brought it up so that I can bring it forward. We're
Okay,
using the
Bendale Park?
Pardon me?
Bendale Park?
Yeah, so, sorry, in the north, it's the north one, not the Bendale Park by the hydro field, but the north one. So anyway, we have had some of the people complaining about this and hearing strange noises. And I've been using the Facebook as a portal, and I sent out something to the area asking if there was anything that I should be bringing up. And this was something that everyone said that they're hearing about it. And also speeding through the area, trying to get around Ellesmere, or through actually using our area to cut through, and they're speeding through. And they're concerned, especially right now with the snow banks being as high as they are, and small kids who are possibly outside playing that could slide off of the bank and be hit by these speeding cars. So just actually mentioning that so everyone hears it. It's not just that we want obviously to have the help out there, but just so that we all can be concerned about that we should be careful. And I think that's it.
Okay, I appreciate that. Making note of the Bendale Park. I'll make sure that I put my community response unit into looking into that. I can tell you that as far as the speeding, James, we actually spoke about that. Councilor Ansley had a meeting.
Yes.
On
That was on
Monday night.
Yeah.
We were very well received there as well. I went into how we do most of our enforcement through intelligence-led policing. We actually did a bit of a download. Adam was involved with that. You know, because you come to a lot of these meetings, but I want to share it with the others as well. Our enforcement capacity, it's every officer is brought into the loop on a weekly basis on where we need to concentrate our enforcement efforts. I know Pappy's in the room, Constable Papadopoulos is in back there. He's our traffic complaint response officer, so he'll end up more often than not being the speed enforcement when we get a complaint like that. However, I should note that once we did some looking into the analytics of it, very few accidents in the cut through that you're talking, in fact, none in the cut through you're talking about. So we do want to be preventative, and I appreciate that. But also with the limited resources that we have to make sure that we're going where you see those graphs every single week, the main corridors. That's where our collisions are taking place. So it's a combination. The bulk of our focus as far as enforcement is going to be by the intelligence-led policing. And Pappy and a few of the other officers will do the individual complaints. We have different avenues that we can take a look at. I know that you're aware of, James. We have a speed measuring board here at 43 where we can actually do our own analytics by putting that speed measuring board in that neighborhood for a while. Because sometimes, honestly, James, it's perception. You're out shoveling your driveway and a car goes by and it's like, wow, that was really fast. And yet when we go and we put the board there, we find that most of them are very, very close to obeying the speed limit. So I appreciate you bringing it to your attention. We'll put it on our list, if you will, of taking a look at it. We're well aware that Brimley is a speed issue. Happy's been up there. We've done lots of enforcement there. But I know we spoke to at Councilor Anthony's meeting, specifically the cut through and the increased traffic in that area because people are trying to avoid the intersection of McCowan and Ellesmere. Right?
That's correct, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're taking a look at that as well.
That's your complaints, one being expressed across the city because of a lot of extra cars going into the side streets and residential areas because of ways, right? They're finding the shortest ways and they're bringing them through the residential areas. There's no concern about what goes on in those residential areas. It's just geared towards getting that driver the fastest route he can find.
And also because of an app which you can plug
That's
into, and it will
quickest
find
way
another
through,
way.
yeah.
It doesn't really care.
No,
whether
that's
you're going
that's
in
what
there
that's what the
or-
Waze app does. Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing it through, and we'll address
Thank you.
the Bendale part.
Speaking of the signboard, those digital board, it does slow people down. Once I see the thing flashing like that, they slow down. So on my street on Friendship Avenue, I want to make one of those with the solar power that sits in the light pole that tells you how fast you're going. If you go over the speed limit, it starts flashing. It does slow people down.
Yeah.
So how do we go about starting something like that in my street?
Speak to your counselor.
Well, if you're looking to fund it, I don't know, it would be through the city, that's not gonna be something we handle.
It's the ones that are permanently attached to the micro.
Yeah, it's not those, it's not those, it's not the one that police has.
Maybe I don't need it. With Vision Zero through the city, the 5-year plan, they have many projects on the go, redesigning intersections, watch your speed signs, which are those. They have, I forget the technical name, but the non-technical name are the little flexible sticks that stand up in the middle of the road near school zones to slow people down. So like this gentleman said, your counselor for whatever area that is might have some say in where the watch your speed signs go, which is exactly what you're talking about.
Or if they go to the City of Toronto website, to the Vision Zero website, and just Google watch your speed signs, you can actually fill out a form and request the signs on your street.
I'll look into it. I don't mind if I have to find it myself, I'll do it because the corner that I live is a bad corner. And I've been living here for 14 years. Nothing happened so far, but it's really about planning for sport freedom place. This is the present fit. So I don't want it to happen again. And then I'll say, oh man, I should have done something about it. You know what I mean? So I thought we can be everywhere at the same time. It's a wonderful job, but we can be here everywhere.
Put out a plate of cookies or something, he'll be there more.
They didn't even hear it. That's distracted listening.
Well done, well done. Thank you for that information.
Looks like that's, yeah.
Okay, this is where we take a break. I don't know how many cookies are left. Kathy's been back here for a little while. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Enjoy it with your loved ones. And then we'll take a 5-minute break, and then the CPLC members will reconvene.
It's like.
So I gave him association.